Hi Melanie, it's so lovely to see you. Thanks so much for coming in to see us. I wanted to talk to you about the work that we did with you. Would you mind just kind of like giving us a sense of why was it you were looking for a third party?
We are LifeArc, and LifeArc started off as a licensing office with a bit of science attached, and it was the old Medical Research Council Technology Organisation. So LifeArc was destined to undergo a significant transformation. So I decided that a transformation of that size, we needed help.
So what was triggering that? What kind of brought you to need a transformation?
We were very fortunate in that MRCT had humanised an antibody, one of many years before, in 2018. But we could see on the horizon that this antibody had now become a significant product, Keytruda, which was marketed by Merck. And with that success came a royalty stream for LifeArc.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the transformation? How significant was it?
We had to undergo a transformation because we were fortunate enough to receive the Keytruda royalty. And in the monetization, we received $1.3 billion. So that was an opportunity to really, really change the organisation.
That's a fantastic opportunity, and as a charity, that's a huge responsibility as well. So would you be able to kind of explain what was the work that you wanted us to do with you?
Yes, LifeArc, when I went in as CEO to undertake the transformation, because the royalty stream was obviously the first thing we had to monetize, it was obvious to me that we didn't have the internal skills to really talk about what LifeArc could be. In fact, it was even more basic than that. We really needed, first of all, to find out what we had been and what the core skills of the organisation were. And I found LifeArc very siloed when I went in. So actually having a conversation about the entity, I knew would be assisted greatly if I actually had somebody who was used to looking at organisations from the outside. And that's why I came to you, Kate, because I knew you from some time before, and I knew you understood the types of organisations that life sciences have within them.
And it was a wonderful project to work on, so it would be really interesting for me to understand what was it about Baringa. So what else did we bring? I know we've worked together in the past, but what else did you find that you really enjoyed working with the team?
So LifeArc needed an external team who really understood life sciences. We needed to understand not just pharmaceuticals as well, but also medtech and the process of moving ideas from academics into potential products that the life sciences industry would be interested in. So LifeArc came to Baringa because you were setting up the life sciences practice. And the wonderful thing about the team was that we didn't lose touch with you, we had you leading it, but also we had, and you brought with you, a very talented group of young people. And each and every one of them contributed their own inputs as well as just delivered the goods for us in terms of the tangible results that we needed at the end of the day.
So I know you were working with other consultancies when you started working with us as well, but what really differentiated us?
LifeArc was very small, 230 people, and I was rather afraid of having a standardized template imposed on us. I actually wanted an entrepreneurial feel, people who would partner with me. We talked about the CEO office at the time, to partner with me and help me deliver something quite unique in terms of LifeArc. And what we got with you and your team, Kate, was not just your leadership and companionship with me, but also a young team who were energetic, popular with the LifeArc team, and we actually ended up with tangible deliverables at the end of the day that helped me communicate with my board of trustees.
Now, I know we've been away from you for a while, which is actually a really lovely time to kind of almost take a step back and say, with all the work that we did with you, what's the value that you believe has been left behind? What are you seeing? What's the results of the work?
So the results of the work with Baringa were that we have a legacy of the journey that we went on to try and understand what LifeArc was. We have lovely slide sets and diagrams that actually help us to explain how the core attributes of LifeArc were suddenly uncovered and unfolded, and how we should describe them. You'll remember those very well, the triangle and how we were trying to put all the parts together. Then as we got closer to the strategy that was agreed by the board in July 2021, which was 3.5 years of that journey of my being the CEO, we actually ended up with that coalescing around what we should become and what the potential was there. And I remember workshops together where individual projects and the response mode behaviour of LifeArc really had to be turned the other way with our core offerings, which we described, and then you can make your own future. So our core offerings were advice, science, and the newfound funding. And with those three, we had that conversation about $1.3 billion, actually allowing us to turn that all on its head, put patients at the centre, and actually then ask, with science, advice and funding, what is it you can actually do to deliver for those patients? So we start with patients. Every translational challenge, which we now have, and we have 3 in the bag and 2 more in the pipeline, starts with the central patient problem.
And those were the missions that we talked about. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. But differentiated from others' missions or others' challenges, because we're very specifically focused on translation. Mm-hmm. So we go from the academic and their new science and their findings through to tangible assets. And we've got even more enjoyment now because we've articulated impact. Mm-hmm. And our impact areas, building on those foundations, are knowledge, the ecosystem we can build, the assets we can progress, and the economies that we're going to deliver into. And that is all how we're going to describe our impact for patients. So we've now got translational challenges founded on those 4 domains to give us patient impact.
It's so lovely to hear kind of the impact that we started with you on your journey as the CEO. So thank you so much for your time today. It's been wonderful to hear the journey.